Hi, I'm David Strickel. Welcome to TYA Talk. We're going to talk about the four pillars. The TYA practice consists of four key pillars, and I created the four pillars because I wanted to ensure that it never became anything other than just those four key things that we need to do, or if we choose to do them, we will create an ever increasing journey back to our source being, not meaning necessarily back to separation from physical, but allowing more of our natural inner source being to be the driver of our lives as opposed to our ego. Now, if you've taken the spiral training, I reference that all the time. So I'm hoping that you've gone on our YouTube channel and taken the numeric vibrational spiral training. If you've taken that training, you know that as we go up in vibration, we are allowing more source and a little less ego. We are not going to operate at the top of our vibrational spiral all the time. We can seek to do that, but when we try to hold ourselves in that high vibrational space, inevitably, vibrational flow, which is created by polarity, is going to come along and drag us back down into lower vibration. That we're going to create some sort of an experience that's going to sort of correct that super high vibration, because we're really not meant to be up there at the top of our spiral all the time. We are really meant to exist somewhere in the middle. But most of humanity is operating a little below neutral in what I call -5, which is the matrix. The matrix seeks to hold humanity in a low enough vibration so that we are compliant beings, while at the same time allowing my own feedback here, allowing enough of a low vibration that is going to create a little bit of anxiety and a little bit of fear so that we are more compliant beings, but also enough source so that we are somewhat creative, we have useful tools, and certainly we have hope for the future. That -5 space is where most of humanity is operating. In the TYA practice, we are not looking to be at +20, which is the very, very top of our virtual vibrational spiral. We are looking to operate instead of -5 at about a +5, which is more source, a little less ego, and an understanding that our ego serves a purpose, but that our ego, if we so choose, can take a back seat to our source being. And the reason that we want that is because when we are allowing more source, we are more joyful, we are more clear, we understand things better, we are more creative because we're tapping into the intelligence of source. In fact, source is that aspect of us that is creative, because source is the source of all creation. So when we are creative, when we are creating new thought and new things and solutions to our obstacles, we are allowing more source in those moments that we are doing that. When we are operating more in ego, we are creating a separation from source, which is allowing us to have some obstacles that ultimately serve as the inspiration for the new creation. But the new creation doesn't occur until we raise our vibration. That's why we want to appreciate our obstacles. That's why we want to meet them in joy, as we like to say, because we created them. And when we understand that this obstacle that I'm facing right now is my own creation, and the opportunity here is for me to raise my vibration and my appreciation of it and allow the solving of it to just be a natural thing. But when you stick yourself in low vibration, you are a different being than you are when you're up your spiral. So in that lower vibrational state, if you haven't taught yourself to meet your obstacles in joy, you're liable to allow that obstacle to drag your vibration down even further in the judgment of it. Because when we label something as should not be, that is actually the opposite of appreciating it. And the opposite of appreciating it means that we are in an opposite or an opposing vibration to source. So lowering our vibration is going to deliver more obstacles, hold us away from the natural joy of just being, disallow us from being able to appreciate and do all of these things that most of us do not want to experience in our lives. We all have some unwanted things that come through, but they're all born of low vibration. So when we get above neutral into a +5 vibrational state, we are more creative, we're more solution oriented, we have greater clarity about ourselves, our purpose in the entire universe, and abundance begins to flow in a more natural way. Because in that source space of creation, abundance is just a natural state of being. The ego is what creates the separation from it. So when we're in -5, we've got a little more ego and a little less source. We want to flip that and have a little more source and a little less ego. Now, you may think, well, I want to be perfectly balanced. The issue there is that space of neutrality, the very middle of your spiral, that zero vibration, is no thought. And we do not hold ourselves in no thought very long, but you'll notice that meditation is all about achieving that zero space of no thought, not trying to conjure source, because a lot of times that activates the vibration of need and has the exact opposite effect than what we're looking for, and not sitting and fretting over what has been and what might be. It's becoming present in the moment, breathing into a calm state of being, and allowing all of your thoughts to just sort of fade away and achieve a state of neutrality or nothingness in your mind for even just little moments of that. That will allow more source to come in and ultimately take you back up your spiral. So when we're doing that as a practice, we are doing that to detune this very active matrix that we are all living in, that is feeding us things constantly to drag our vibration down. So that's the true value of meditation. So when I created the 4 pillars of the TYA practice, they were all about me conferring with source, the stream, and saying, okay, what is human created and what is universal law? Well, universal law is very simple. All creation is consciousness creation first. It all happens in the mind first, and then the actual physical creation follows that. So, law of attraction. We are consciously creating our reality. The other part of that, or the other universal law, is the law of polarity, that we are in a physical polarized environment, so that we are never static beings operating in just a singular focused vibration. We are up and we're down and we're all over the place. Well, the tools that you need then to operate an ever expanding vibrational experience, meaning your vibration is constantly going up, which is actually the natural state of our world, because new creation is expanding our vibration and driving us up our spiral. So when we sort of let go of all of the things that drag our vibration down, it naturally goes up. And when we systematically detune all of the things that drag us down throughout a lifetime, our vibration is just systematically, though it's going up and down, it's systematically always going higher. You're getting wiser all the time. You're living in more abundance all the time. You've got more clarity flowing all the time. You are more and more apt to just appreciate what is, even the things that you dip down a little bit and manifest that are unwanted, things that are obstacles. You learn to meet those things, enjoy and appreciate them, so that they're short-lived and you don't allow them to take your general vibration down. This is all about detuning the stuff that drags us down, so our natural state of ever increasing, ever rising vibration becomes just a natural way of being. So the 4 pillars are appreciation. We put appreciation at the front because appreciation is probably the most difficult thing for most humans to really wrap their mind around. The radical appreciation of all creation. But that's how source is. That's what source is appreciation of all things. So if you want more source and less ego, thus raising your vibration systematically, you've got to create a mindset of ongoing detuning of your life's transgressors, understanding that you're never going to be done with that work. Yes, you can get in and detune your roots. You can get in and detune all the early childhood stuff that built your foundation. That's what we do in TYA Boot Camp. And when you do that, not only are you learning how to detune, you are also repairing the foundation of your belief system, one that's more in alignment with what you want it to be. All of this is by choice. One of the things about TYA is we have the 4 pillars. Notice that none of the 4 pillars include rules or anything that you must do. There's no dogma in it. There's nothing that's saying this is the only belief system that has value, that everyone else is wrong or anything like that. But it is a very effective belief system. So when we systematically detune transgressors, we systematically appreciate all that is, we are allowing more and more and more source into our lives to be the driver of our lives. The next pillar of TYA is polarity, understanding that we are in a physical polarized environment. As long as we're physical, it doesn't matter where we are physically focused, but as long as we're physical, we're in a polarized environment. The polarity of our environment means that we have things on Earth, in the Earth environment, because in this moment, We are of the earth environment. There are things that we absolutely all appreciate as our preferences. The foods that we like, the temperatures that we like, the places, the scenery, the experiences, the people, the moods, the mindset, all of those things that we prefer, we are always seeking those things out as long as we're physical. In one way or another, we are. And by contrast, because we're in polarity, our vibration is taken down on a regular basis. And that lowering of our vibration allows us to spin out some of our creations or ourselves to absolutely manifest some obstacles in our lives. And in doing so, create a scenario where we can go down in vibration, create an obstacle, and allow that obstacle to be the launch pad of our next new creation in the correction of it or the overcoming of it, or just in the moving through the experience. And in doing that, we can raise our vibration in appreciation of what we've created, even things that we really didn't want. And in doing so, allow that source perspective to return and allow the natural solving or healing of it. When we do that, we expand our consciousness. Human life, physical life, is all about expansion of consciousness through the having of physical experiences. So the having of the experience of here is the obstacle, I'm down my spiral, it seems hopeless, I don't know how I created this, I don't know how I'm going to get out of it. That is a low vibrational state of being. And then sometimes just a little bit of time passes, your vibration naturally goes back up. And then you review that thing, that obstacle, and realize, well, wait a minute, I can solve this. I've got these tools. Why didn't I even think about this stuff the other day? Well, you are in too low a vibration to allow the source of all creation to play a role in the solving of that obstacle. Now you've let go of the judgment and the fear and all of the things around the initial impact of the obstacle. You've naturally moved your vibration up, and now you can solve it. Well, in TYA, we know that. We understand that very deeply so that we can, if we so choose, raise the vibration instantaneously simply by appreciating what we've created. Look at this pile of crap that I've created for myself. I'm a great creator. I created this so that I can bounce up higher. So let me appreciate my creation, understanding that my reemerging into the upper part of my spiral with source is going to allow the healing, the solving, or the new creation from this obstacle. So that's why polarity is important, to understand where you are vibrationally all the time. Just being aware, not judging where you are, but simply being aware of where you are vibrationally, understanding that when you're up above neutral and higher vibrational territory, you are creating things that you want, you're having experiences that you like, you're a joyful being up there. All is good. All is good. And then when you get below neutral, you start to understand that, okay, now I'm below neutral. I'm down in lower vibrational territory. I don't feel good today. I don't feel particularly hopeful. Things aren't working out for me. You then have the conscious choice and the tools to move your vibration right on up the spiral if you want to, through meditation, appreciation exercises, low thought activities, just depending on how low you are, knowing what the proper path is to raise your vibration from wherever you are. So awareness of your vibration is what the polarity pillar is all about. It's life-changing. It's very valuable to know that information. It's even more so to know how to move through the experience wherever you are on the spiral in appreciation of exactly what you're experiencing. The third pillar is source. We have a baseline belief in this practice that there is a creative energy in the universe. I call it source. You may call it God. You can call it endless other things if you want. But I view that energy as all that is, as far as the universe goes. It is everything, including all of us. So it's in us. It's part of us. And that source part of us is always available to us as we detune our ego and the things that hold us away from it. Because anytime we're not in a state of authentic appreciation of all that is, including ourselves, our journey, and exactly where we are, then we're starting to create a separation from source. When we are authentically appreciating exactly where we are, who we are, what we've experienced, what we're experiencing now, we're hopeful about the future. We know that we have the tools to create anything that we desire. That is aligning you with source, because that's the opinion of source. And it's always there for you. It's always available to you. So What happens is those three things start to work in conjunction with one another. Appreciation raises your vibration. Understanding where you are vibrationally is the polarity pillar. That gives you the wherewithal to know when to move up, when you're down, what to do when you're up, what not to do when you're down. So that information combined with the appreciation pillar actually leads you to more source. The baseline belief in source and understanding of the process of creation, which is source, that combines with those things. You start doing those three things together, and then life starts to change. Well, your life will start to change. You will be a more joyful being. You'll be a more effective creator. And the tricky part of that is that when you start to raise your vibration systematically, your stream of manifestation starts to speed up. Your manifestations come faster because you're clearing up all of that clunky energy that sort of drags you down. You're becoming very efficient at managing your vibration, at manifesting your desires. You're becoming far more efficient at that. So that's why the intention pillar is important, because you did come to planet Earth to create obstacles, create preferences, and manifest both and utilize both for new creation. But notice how much more creative we are from our obstacles. I always say you're never more creative than when you're terminally ill or flat broke or all alone or something like that. You can wallow in that as long as you choose to. Then, when you're through with that, if you have to do that at all, then you can set your sights on changing the energy around that, understanding that there was something energetic about you that placed you in that circumstance. If it's not your preference, what do you do? Well, step one is to identify that you're not where you want to be. Step two is to appreciate exactly where you are. And sometimes, if you're not really familiar with the process of creation, that can sound counterintuitive. Well, I don't want to appreciate where I am because then I'm focused on that. I'm going to create more of it. The appreciation aspect is really a detuning of all of the negative stuff you probably have about some aspect of where you are or where you've been. So the detuning it through appreciation is not going to stick you there. It's going to unstick you from there because you're loosening up, you're lightening up the energy. I love where I am. I love what I'm experiencing. I love every aspect of my life. And now I'm going to enjoy my now. And then when my imagination kicks in, and it always will because it's a creative tool that's always going, I'm going to utilize that imagination in my new higher vibrational state to create something that is a desire of mine. What do I want to experience? That's intention. What do I intend to experience? That's a very important pillar. In fact, they all are. So those four things work together to create joy, clarity, and abundance in your life. Those four things work together to deliver for you this ongoing trip higher and higher and higher vibrationally. And I reference the United States money market all the time because it's something that's measured by the minute of every business day very closely. So understanding that your up and down journey is actually creating the trajectory up if you allow it to. If you're loving the process and loving the game, every setback, every obstacle, every spin out, you start to really embrace that stuff. What happens when you do that is your obstacles become fewer and further between, and you solve them far more efficiently when they do arrive. So you've got more joy, more clarity, more abundance, fewer obstacles. The obstacles that do show up are a bigger event for you because you now know how to solve them and you're meeting them in joy. So you're changing the whole experience with the obstacle. And you're going to go back in this practice and ultimately do some of that work backward to start cleaning up and detuning the stuff that is creating your subconscious mindset. So if you've got any limiting beliefs or any beliefs around your unworthiness of having and being and doing exactly what you want, you now have the tools to detune all that stuff. And the key tools are the 4 pillars of TYA. Understanding that appreciation, polarity, source, and intention, those 4 things are all you ever need. From there, you can utilize any tool that you want. If you're into chakras, if you're into Reiki, if you're into energy healing, if you're into prayer, if you're into, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Anything that you're into holds the power that you give to it. And when you're working the 4 pillars of TYA, any and every aspect of human life, of earthly life, is going to get better for you. You're going to have a better experience. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, because you're systematically raising your vibration. And even though you'll dip down from time to time, understanding that each little dip is your own creation to take you higher gives you that solving, healing power that comes on so quickly and so efficiently the more you raise your vibration. So that's what the four pillars of TYA are really all about, how they work in unison, and how you get these things going as you become a practitioner of TYA. In the beginning, it feels like work. It absolutely will. It'll be tedious because you're changing a lot of the aspects of your life that you have grown really accustomed to. And you're learning to view things very differently. You're learning to view things as source views things, which is authentic appreciation of all that is. We're exactly opposite of what we're taught in the Matrix. But when you do that, when you start viewing things in appreciation, authentic appreciation of any and everything, you are aligning yourself with source. Life gets really magical when you do that. And that's why these four pillars all work together, because the detuning component is great, but you also need to be aware of your vibration, because vibration can take you down and your judgment of it can hold you down there. You need to be aware of source, which is why we're doing all this work in the first place. And then, of course, you need to be intentional, not just let go and say, I'm just going to allow the universe to delight me. You can have that experience if you want, but what ends up happening is you're going to manifest some obstacles in your bliss to disrupt all of that bliss, because we didn't come here just to live blissful, peaceful lives of, kind of how we exist eternally on earth. Obviously, we're here to have obstacles and overcome them and create in all of that contrast. That's the purpose of life. And those are the four pillars of TYA. Thank you for watching.